All right, we're back. You can finish the story about the weekend you had about the dryers and the stuff. Oh, I can change the
Okay,
skins as we go. Oh, that's awesome.
now let's get to first day of filming, which was this past Thursday. The call time for set was 9 in the a.m. Um, I get to set at 9 in the morning, which you already know I'm not a fan of, but I'm there. And we work. We film the movie, well, parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then the director starts to mention that, like, we can send all of the extras home because we're only going to need the main characters
Oh
for when
boy,
we start shooting
they only
at
brought it off.
8 p.m.
Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm.
That's already 11 hours on set. We had a 3 hour break in between when we stopped filming during the day and when we could film at night. And I'm one of those
No.
people who, like,
Welcome to the order.
you can't give me a break like that because if I go home, I ain't coming back.
The demons are amongst us, Dante. They are enslaving mankind.
So I had to stay there during the break.
Brainwashed and helpless.
Now,
We're fighting back.
8 o'clock rolls around,
Mm-hmm.
and the cameramen
Handful of freedom fighters.
take an hour and a half to set the scene.
We don't leave things to chance.
So
Accumulated vast intelligence.
earlier in the day when they were like, we got to film at 8 o'clock, we need it to be dark. I look at the director and I'm like, can't we just darken the room? And she looks at the camera guy and they look at me and they both just have like this panicked look on their face and they shake their head to no. And I'm like,
Why
what's
not?
going on? Yeah, exactly. So around 9:30 that night, I found out why not.
Because they didn't know how.
They had to wait for the owners to leave because they were about to blast a water hose onto the window to make it look like it was raining.
You don't remember me. No.
There are other ways to do that. There are ways they
There
can do
really
that too.
weren't. There really weren't.
What do you mean?
One of the situations with this is like when it's a small, like an independent film,
They told me I had a car
and you ain't got no money, you got to work with what you have.
No, well, first and foremost, I don't give a fuck about that because that's a waste of fucking water. They could have jerry rigged some shit to where they didn't just have to like hit the window with water. They could have jerry rigged some fucking PVC together, like some glue
No,
and
then
some.
that's spending money and manpower
Your past
that they didn't have.
reason.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that's a type of scene that exists
I established
across
the order.
most
I'll find a way
media,
to fight the
like
demons.
scenes where it's raining
Besides
outside
swords and
and you're
bullets, you mean?
inside. Like
Such weapons can win battles, but not the war.
I don't know. I guess I understand that there's a prop department for a reason because there are people who like know that this stuff is gonna happen and you're gonna need. All I heard was they're just gonna blast it with water. And I was like, that's a waste of water. You useless piece of shit. This is a waste of fucking water.
Working together.
Yeah, when then you have to think about how long
This is about.
we were doing it for.
Fight the demons,
So
help
the movie has kids in it,
doing with your life.
and
Come
we
on.
had to keep one kid on set with us at that night. And there were so few of us that literally it was her mom
I was
who
like,
was
is this
standing
legal?
outside blasting
legal?
the whole.
I'm powerless to
No, it's not. No, but her mom was like, her mom was cool with it, so we did it. Like that little girl was on that set at 9 o'clock in the morning, and she didn't go home or to her hotel until midnight.
Tell me what,
Is this a Hollywood movie?
who you really are.
No, otherwise that would have never happened. That's why they were blasting.
Right.
That's blasting it with a hose.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have broke the law.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was her mom that volunteered to just stand outside and blast the window. So we didn't start filming. We were supposed to start at 8. We didn't actually start until 9:30. We didn't finish until 3.
This was your home. I don't remember.
So I was in this Airbnb,
Open the gateway.
which doubled as the set, from 9 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock the next morning.
What are you doing?
Get home about 3:30. Of course, I didn't go to sleep until probably 4:35. Luckily, call time for the next day was 1 o'clock. The next day being Friday. I get there 1. I am there until about 9:30. Get home at around 10. This is Friday night.
Good stuff.
Meaning that Saturday was
The house holds secrets.
the day that I was supposed to be doing the movie stuff.
How'll I get back?
So I've told the director and I've told the producer, like, hey,
You can get rough in it.
I'm going to have to leave early on Saturday. And they were like, okay, well, how much do you think, like, we can get done? Like, what can we do? And I was like, look, the only way we're going to do a lot of this stuff is, like, if we set the call time really early.
First on you.
And so they're like, okay, well, what do you want the call time to be? And I was like, 6? So the call time for Saturday was 6. And I was like, I'm going to have to leave probably around 2:30. So we're going to do as much as possible. And then the producer is going to take over for me. So Friday night, I get home. It's like 10 o'clock. I know that I have no other option but to try and remove my washer and dryer now. Because I just flat out won't have time to do it tomorrow because my mom had moved up the return time for the truck to 5 o'clock rather than 7.
Show me your secrets.
So I go into the laundry room and then I remembered something. Removing a washing machine is one of the hardest things on the planet to do
Why is that?
when you don't have tools. And you know who don't have tools?
Most people our age.
That'd be me. So I attempt, and I'm just like prying at the hose. Now the hose for, I don't know, have you ever seen the hose, what the connection looks like?
Yes.
It's pretty much just a water hose, right?
It's just
But-
two hoses, cold water and hot water.
Yeah, but for some reason they feel like they have to. I don't know why they're on there so tight because regular hoses outside work the exact same way.
I think
Perfectly fine.
anybody and everybody who might be listening to this, I mean, take this how you want to with a shred of like common sense. The hose outside, if it comes off, outside gets wet. Outside gets wet all the time. The hose in your house, connected to your washing machine, if that bitch come off while you washing clothes, you're having a bad day. You're having a
Yeah,
real
but at
bad
the
day.
same time, there is not really a logical reason for any of those hoses to come off.
Yeah, there is water pressure.
Nah, because they're built for that.
They're also
So
built to be that tight.
so I turn the water off, and because I don't have tools, I just start attacking the hose, trying to unscrew it.
You didn't ask your mom if she had like some. All you needed was a wrench.
Dude, I got home at 10:30 at night.
She was awake.
No, she wasn't.
All right, I was trying.
So
What is this?
I texted my roommate and I was like, "Hey,
No, he doesn't.
are your tools in your car?" No, he does have tools.
What?
And
Yeah, that boy can swing a hammer.
And who the hell are you?
And of course, he still has not responded to that message.
I don't know what that message was.
Are your tools in your car?
Oh, okay. He's dead.
So,
yikes!
I was attempting to unscrew the cold and the hot water, and nothing was really helping. So I just moved the washer. Like, I just moved it. Like, I dragged it out. Because I had a wrench. I actually had a wrench, but the wrench, the mouth didn't open wide enough to fit, which is ridiculous. The mouth didn't open wide enough to fit around the hose.
Mm-hmm. That's why they make different size wrenches.
Well, I had a universal wrench. And I wish you would be on my side and not the washer.
No, I
okay?
I'm not taking
I
your
wish
side
you
on
would
this.
be on my side and not the washer.
I'm not. Look, if you don't know how to use tools and stuff, just say like, yeah, I ain't a handy person. I don't know that shit. Like, I'm cool. Like, then it's fine. But don't be like, this is dumb. This thing doesn't work the way it's supposed to. That's because it's not supposed to work that way. It's like, I don't
know what you're saying, because I've never once claimed that anything was dumb. And I think by me saying I don't own tools is me saying that I'm not handy.
That's not true. You have a car, and most people who have cars don't have all the tools they need to repair their car. Like, even if it's a simple repair that they could make.
Because I ain't about that life.
I mean, but you are about that life to a degree, because you have a car, and sometimes stuff happens and you ain't at the house.
And that's why you got AAA. You wait for the highwayman to be riding up and down in the blinky truck. So
The blinky truck.
I pull the washer away from the wall.
I can't allow.
And when the hose on the cold water was taut enough, I looked at it and I was like,
had to learn it something.
And I start twisting at it, and the cold water, the hose came off, and I was like, all right, I got that one off. That was about midnight. So then I was like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna get you hot water. I didn't get hot water. Hot water got me. So I'm just like, I'm trying. I'm putting every ounce of strength I have into getting this off. And I'm checking my phone, and he still hasn't responded. And so I'm just like, F this. And I just walked into his room.
He is dead. Your roommate is dead. They overdosed on drugs and died.
No. He actually showed up like 2 days later.
Yeah,
and I was like, thanks
died.
for responding to my message.
And he still didn't know what you're talking about.
She ain't been here, which I ain't got nothing to say about that though. So I walked into his room, and I saw a hammer just sticking out of a bucket. And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe his tools are in here. So I open he's got like a little backpack sitting on top of that, and I'm looking through the backpack, and I found another wrench. And I was like, okay, well, this is probably better quality than mine. So I took the hammer, and I took the wrench, and I went, and I tried to get the hot water off.
You just need a big wrench.
The hot water did not come off. So then I resorted to the interwebs, and I was looking at, boy, you don't know how badly I was like, where you at, Hank Hill? I legit went and got some of my freaking hair. I put olive oil on it. Like, I was doing everything I could to get this freaking thing off.
You know what would have worked? If you had a butane torch, that would have worked.
Dude, I took my hair dryer to it.
Yeah, because like you just needed to heat it up, like to heat it up hot enough to get the metal to expand, so that you could then try to twist it. But the problem would then be, although it's expanded, you're now about to like tighten it again to try to turn it. Mm-hmm. So you'd make it malleable enough to like flex, and then pinch it shut.
So what I did was I hit it with my hair dryer. And then I tried to take the claw part of the hammer so that I could spread it a little bit.
And get this
Because when I was looking online, I saw that the most common problem they said that people have with these is when they're trying to get them off, they end up pinching the part without teeth, and then that just clamps it on there tighter.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to get one off, they were like, yeah, the easiest way to get it off is to take a hacksaw to it and just saw through the top part of the metal. And I was just like, F this, I ain't about to break a knife. So I did the hairdryer, and I took the hammer, and I tried to like separate it. Problem was that using the hammer, it slipped, and I knocked the valve off. And not, I didn't just knock the valve off. I
he
cleaned
knocked
in
it
half.
the fuck off.
Yep. Yep, that's what happened.
This racism is killing me inside.
Yeah. So that was upsetting,
Oh, I can imagine that it was.
especially because it still didn't come off.
Should have just started hitting it.
That was me.
You didn't
Like you should.
then that would have been grounds.
You
That
did
would have
get
been
a
grounds
wrench.
for an emergency rental call.
You did get a wrench around
Or
it though, right?
maintenance. No, the wrench wouldn't fit. The wrench
Okay,
would not fit.
So he didn't have a wrench that would fit it.
So what I did, because I was very upset at the nozzle thing, and I went back into my roommate's room because I started blaming him at this point. And I went through his bag again because it's just full of crap. There's just so much crap in it. And I found a pair of wire strippers, which, if you don't know what wire strippers look like, they're just a pair of pliers, but they have teeth.
Yeah, I know what wire strippers.
And so, look, I ain't talking to you, I'm the peoples. So,
Cool, whatever.
I took the wire strippers, and I was like, all right, yeah, I did, and I got it off, which only made me angrier at him.
Am I dreaming?
Because he didn't respond to my message. All of this could have been avoided if he had just responded to my message. So I finally got the hot water off, and I had to wiggle the washing machine out of the laundry room and into position, and then I had to wiggle the dryer on out of the laundry room behind it. By the time I finished with all of this, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. My call time for being on set was 6 o'clock in the morning. So I got what sleeps I could.
Where am I?
And I get up, I go to set,
Am I dreaming?
and I'm there. We're working. We're knocking stuff out.
I think I was hitting the wrong buttons, if I'm not mistaken. I might have been hitting the wrong buttons. Give me a second. Because if you're talking, I won't be able to focus. And go to move list. Abilities. No, I was hitting the right buttons. L2 and R1. Oh, I didn't need to be in the air to do it. Oh, I'll be damned. Well, I'll be damned, boy. You can go ahead and finish your story about that damn wrenching bolt. Go ahead, finish your story about the wrenching bolt.
I'm chewing.
What you chewing? What you chewing? I wasn't talking to you.
There's a beer.
Devil May Cry. What was that about?
Out you come.
Out you get. And I'm not. And also,
right.
the issue with like the things being on there as tight as they are is because if they aren't, even if the water pressure doesn't knock the hose off, it might, if it doesn't seal on that gasket just right, Like the water can still leak out, which again problematic over time.
Cool. So we're on set, and
But didn't get off him.
I don't know how many of y'all out there have ever made a movie with children, but it's difficult.
You can't hit them, which is the most annoying part.
Right. And that day, them kids started to irk me. It got to the point because all of their parents were on set, and I was just talking to the producer, and I was like, I know these people are tired of me yelling at their kids, but I don't care.
That's as far as it went.
So yeah, that was literally it. I was just like, I don't care. Yeah. Tell your kids to act right. Follow directions.
Hold on. I don't have meningitis, but my men, they jitis so often. That was stupid. All right, so we're gonna end this one here. Turbo mode is off. Hardcore mode is off. Of course it is. I don't play these games. I'm not one of those gamers who is like, yeah, I gotta have the hardest. Like, this is where me and Jay will always like differ. He believes a game should like offer a challenge. I really feel like movies should be accessible, which is why, like, if you gotta steal a movie to watch it because it costs like $13 to go to the movie theater, or the Blu-ray or the DVD is like $20 to buy, like, and you can't afford like to stream. If you have internet and you need to steal a movie to watch it, fucking steal it. Because really, all that's gonna happen, all I want as a consumer who no one cares about, is I just want to be able to talk to you about the movie. Same goes for a game, a story-based game like this. This is story-based. Like, the combat is just that. It's cathartic and it feels good, and it's not Dark Souls, it's not Street Fighter, it's not like in-depth, it's not like really deep, meaty combat. It's very simple. So no matter how hard or how easy this game is, which again, it has its difficulty settings for the player to choose, I don't give a shit if you play a game on the easiest setting. Ultimately, like something like Detroit Become Human, which doesn't have a difficulty setting, like, if you can't play that game, then you're just bad at QTEs, which is fine. Like, it's not for you. And even that game has ways that you can play it without, the QTEs being so consistent or like so prevalent. I just want to be able to talk. Quick time event. It's where like, buttons pop up and you have to press them within a certain amount of time. Quickly, usually. And like when it comes to like a story-based game, I just want to talk to people about the game. I can't talk to you about gameplay. I can say like, oh, so how'd you like that new God of War? Like, oh, I like the way it played. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. Like, okay, so what about that part when you press square and Kratos moved? It's like, no, that's a fucking stupid conversation. Like, what am I, 3? If I'm 3, I'm very fucking well-spoken for a 3-year-old. But that's not a good conversation. I don't care about that. What about when you find out?
He making parts over here. He preaching.
Like, man, look. When it comes to video games,
look, you just made a video game point that I actually understood. So,
what do you mean?
Like the difference between gameplay and one that's speaking. Yeah, you made a point that I understood.
And like again, if you play games on hard difficulties, cool. Like if like Resident Evil, any kind of shooter, like if you're a bad shot, and it's like I don't feel like you should not be able to play the game. I don't feel like this is the most important bit. Everybody does not have the amount of time to waste getting better at a game they're only gonna play once. Most people don't play I have so many games. If it wasn't for the channel, I never would have replayed most of the games that I have replayed for the channel. Because this is a very like reactionary experience, I try to play games that I haven't played before just so I have new and, interesting reactions. Like after y'all saw me play God of War, like all the God of Wars I've played before, Like, you can tell that there's a big difference between me playing something I know and something I'm completely, like, unsure about. So, like, yeah, so for me, like, the idea of, like, a game needing to be hard or, like, challenging the player, like, nah. Like, I don't necessarily, I think what challenges the player changes so drastically from person to person. Like, let's say we was watching something along the lines of Shutter Island. To pick up on what's happening in Shutter Island before the reveal, you have to be very astute and you have to be good at, like, keeping track of information and noticing subtle clues. Everybody can't do that. But there are movies where you can totally see the ending coming because it's written in a very simplistic way. It's not like the twist isn't really a twist. It's just what's happening at the end of the movie. So I say video games are very much in that same aspect. If you think, oh, what is to challenge the player? Well, different people have different levels of, like, brain power. And, like, not everybody has, like, good dexterity. So the idea that, like, you, like, a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of players want this, but the vocal ones are the ones that everybody hears about. So it seems like a lot of people want it, who they want games to be, like, harder. Like, you're on your own. There are so many more people who don't say anything because they super don't agree with that. And it segregates a huge majority of people who could get into video games from people who, like, I do this and I do it this way. So if you don't do it like this, you're wrong. It's like, I don't give a fuck how you play your games. I don't. Like, that is, like, how I live my life on a regular basis. I don't give a shit. What you doing ain't illegal. I don't fucking care. If you want to play your games on the hardest difficulty possible, go for it. I hope you beat the motherfucker. I hope you get to the point where you can speed run it on the hardest difficulty and it doesn't even look like it's hard. Like, that'd be amazing for you. I'm happy. But if you can't do any of that and you want to play it on the easy difficulty and just experience the story or just experience the feeling of playing the game, fucking go for it. You bought the system, you bought the game, or however you got a hold of it, you got a hold of it. Play it so I can talk to you about it if I want to talk to you about it. So you can talk to other people about, like, the experience. If you as a gamer like a story in a game and you will not talk to somebody about their experience with the story or how they felt about it because they played on a lower difficulty than you, you suck. Peace. We out here.